Hello Gemini, and welcome to my channel Inspiring Life Changes. My name's Colette and I'm here today to do a reading for Geminis that are Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising. If you don't know where those placements are, you can go and check it out in the free natal link, which will be in the description box down below, because this is a general read for Geminis. You may also want to check out the other reads that I will be putting up for yourselves, which could also relate to your other placements as well, because this is a reading for Sun, Moon, Venus, Gemini, but it may not resonate with you being a general read. You may find that your message is better for you with your ascendant, or your moon may make more sense, or even your Venus sign. So if you are interested, the link will be in the description down below, so you can check them out for yourselves and also check out the videos as and when I do them. I would just like to say thank you to anybody who has subscribed to my channel. Thank you very much for coming back. If you have subscribed to my channel and you're here again to watch my videos, thank you. I do appreciate it. Could you please like, thumbs up my videos as well, because it gets it out into the bigger YouTube world where the algorithms can pick it up, which is why all the YouTubers at the moment, or have always been saying, please do thumbs up our videos, because it does make a big difference to us. Also tap that bell so that you can receive the videos as and when they get put out as well. I will be doing all the videos for all the zodiac signs. I've just started off with Taurus because it's Taurus season, and I've just completed the new and the full moon astrological and tarot readings as well, which are up on my channel now, so you may want to go and check them out too if you haven't already. So I'm going to start your reading, Gemini, with a major arcana card from the deck of the Gilded tarot here. I just use this one card to give it kind of an overall kind of flavour, kind of gives me an idea of what the overall reading is about. And today you have got the Judgment card, Gemini. And what came through for me really strongly while I was doing the rest of the reading and kind of meditating on this is this shape of her helmet here, along with her face, and how it makes an incredible kind of heart shape here. So the Judgment card is about calling, it's about hearing something, it's about higher calling, about higher yeah, like if you've been doing something very mundane and it's like a calling from a higher energy. And so I get the feeling, Gemini, that this could be to do with a calling to do with your heart here. Also, because you do have Venus for the next 4 months going backwards and forwards in your sign, Gemini. Especially for those of you who've got any placements, any planets, points in the degrees of 5 degrees Gemini up to 21, 22 degrees Gemini. That is going to be the area of the Gemini chart that Venus is going to be going forwards, backwards and forwards over again. So 3 times, anybody who's got any placements or planets there, you're going to feel the energy 3 times over. So Venus being all about our value systems, what we love, what we care for, why we care for it, how much we're willing to pay for something, financially, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. I feel as though there is going to be this like the higher calls, where it's kind of, if you see these wings here, for me it's kind of like a very angelic. It does represent the energy of Mercury or Hermes in his higher element, which is actually your own energy, Gemini. But today it's also coming through for me in the higher octave of Uranus, which is in the sign of Taurus, which is the ruler, which is ruled by Venus, which is in your sign. So there's kind of this connection happening here, I feel, today for you Geminis. But this is a higher mind, a higher calling, a higher consciousness, like a shift to something beyond where you have been so far. If you see here, there's these two naked people, and they're naked for the reason of kind of everything being open, everything, like no secrets, nothing being hidden, everything being very much out in the open. And so I feel, Gemini, that you may also be having a kind of a mental, spiritual even, like clear out of things in yourself, in your own psyche at this time, over this next 4 months. But I do feel as though it's also to do with your heart and how you're feeling and where you're placing your heart, why you're placing your heart where you're placing your heart, and what you're expecting to achieve by doing so. So that's the first card out, and we'll see if it turns up again, Gemini. The Three of Fire in reverse today is at the heart of your reading. And this is saying to me that at the moment you're kind of lost in your sense of direction. That you don't know quite where you're going or how you're going to get there. You're wanting something new, maybe a change, some more action in your life, something that's going to fire you up and get you kind of motivated. I'm feeling here this kind of lack of motivation, lack of direction, lack of kind of, you know, a little bit like as the wind blows, a sense of feeling as though you're just kind of going along and not necessarily really having a set direction, Gemini, like not really knowing exactly where you're heading at this moment in time. This is a general read, so this isn't going to resonate with all of you Geminis. But it is covered today, Gemini. You are covered with this Seven of Earth here, which I see this as being kind of this distraction here. You can see here he's kind of distracted. He was walking down this kind of pathway, if you like, which is what I see that's going on here as well. It's kind of almost like this here is this. If you see here, this is like a compass. It's like a kind of like I can see it a bit today, like a oh, what they called a wind, you know, one of those wind words had completely escaped me today. What's it called? It's not a wind turbine. I mean, you know what I mean, one of those things that changes and shows you which direction the wind's blowing. Quite old-fashioned. You don't see a lot of them around anymore. But this is kind of reflecting this to me today, that this represents this, like you kind of have had to change course or direction and you're not really certain where that is taking you. And this is the reason why, because this has come in as your challenge, as your kind of crossing energy, if you like. It's something that's making you it's making you stop. and rethink and reevaluate and kind of take a good hard long look at what it is that you're being distracted by. There's something here that's distracting you. It's kind of caught out the corner of your eye. And there's something else I would just mention with this card today as well. Is while I was like shuffling the rest of the cards and doing all the things that I do previous to the actual reading, I kept seeing these eyes kind of, they seemed to me as though they were kind of fluttering open. And there's something about the eyes, there's something about somebody and their eyes, Gemini. And I don't know if this is going to be like just a message for one of you, a few of you. But there's something about somebody's eyes that you kind of, you've caught somebody's eye, or somebody who's caught your eye as well. And there's just this instant kind of attraction, this instant kind of, I feel more of a recognition, of a realization, of a kind of, I know that energy. There's something about that. And there's also, if you look here as well, there's a very similar kind of headdress that he's wearing here. So it could be that this is you here, Gemini, that you are the distraction or you are being distracted. But there's a higher calling, or there's a feeling of something that's bigger than you, shall we say? An energy that's kind of pulling at you. You feel as though it's kind of pulling you away from where you thought you were going and the direction that you believed that you were moving in. And it's now taking you elsewhere. But there is this kind of, because you haven't actually, I feel as though you haven't actually made the choice to follow it yet. So you're kind of in that dilemma stage. You're kind of in that, should I, shouldn't I? Is this right? Is this wrong? But like I was saying, I feel this kind of similar look with these feathers, which is why I think I kind of pointed it out earlier, but I didn't understand myself why. But now I do. It's because they are very much kind of reflected here as well. And so it is this sense of kind of this higher mind, if you like something that's connecting on a higher level. That you're picking up something to do with this kind of this contact with somebody, the eyes, something to do with the eyes, this kind of, almost like I'm getting kind of this feeling of an electric magnetic kind of energy that's kind of sparked between you. And there's this kind of sense with this energy here, this kind of fairy, this kind of highlighted here. You're kind of saying, look, look what I could show you if you just follow. That's the kind of energy that I'm feeling from those cards there. But we have in your head, and what you're aware of, is the Ace of Cups in reverse. So this could be you kind of dwelling on something from your past, or dwelling on love, or kind of feeling that, you've been there, you've done it, you've been kind of tricked into this in a way before. Because there does feel like this sense of kind of trickery here as well. Like this sense of, am I leading myself up the garden path here? In believing this, is this real? Is this just going to be an illusion that's kind of going to disappear? And I'm going to be left again, kind of holding on to my heart. The pearl for me kind of is representation of the different layers of love as well, and how sometimes we have to go through pain in love to be able to kind of work through our own flaws in a way. That's what this card is kind of saying to me in reverse here. That in order to get the perfect, shall we say, the perfect pearl, the kind of perfection with no flaws and no damage, this pearl has to be kind of nurtured and taken care of, because that's really what the ace energy is about. The ace energy is about a new energy that comes in, but it's come in here in reverse for you, Gemini, which is saying to me that there's this kind of mistrust in a way, a mistrust of your heart and your own how can I put it? Your own trust in yourself, due to the the way that you've opened up in the past and kind of have been disappointed. But you are this pearl. This is the thing about this pearl here, is it kind of represents you yourself, Gemini. And it has also come out with the two as well here, but this is the past, this is the energy that's moving away, but this has come out the right way up. So there is this energy of you, I would say on some level, being ready to find that other person that you want to share your pond with, share your experiences with, give your time to. The Two of Water, or the Two of Cups, is very much about that initial coming together when two people attract each other. And there's something that's kind of has already happened, but yet, as of yet, I don't feel as though it's kind of gone very far. I feel as though you're kind of still in this stage here, but you may still not be open to what's happening, I feel, somehow, Gemini. But you are very attracted to it. Don't get me wrong, there is this real kind of magnetic pull there for you. And it is kind of this thing where you feel as though you recognise this person. You feel as though that energy that you're being called to, this higher, it's like it's asking you to kind of trust in something bigger than yourself, this being the thing that is bigger than you, shall we say. But underneath it and in the subconscious realm, sorry about that, the light is not that great today actually. We have the Ace of Fire. So we have two aces here. One in reverse and one up the right way. So there is a real passion here. It is really well driven by passion and kind of a seeking for somewhere to put your creative drive. It could also have a lot to do with sexual drive as well. This person, you find them incredibly attractive, you find them incredibly magnetic, and in some way that could also be the problem as well, because you may well be thinking, Gemini, well, you know, if they're that amazing and if they're that incredibly sexy and kind of, you know, yeah, kind of magnetic, and then will they stay around? Will they stick around with you for long if you kind of make them that offer? Would this person give you their time and their heart? But there is this tiny little fairy here sitting on the top of this, and she does actually have this little heart in her hand here. And again, I see that fairy as this fairy here. So there is this connection of something. And to you, there's also, I feel there's this kind of, how can I put it? Like something mysterious, something out of the ordinary about this person, something that's kind of a little bit unique or very unique. They're not somebody who's just, how can you put it? They're not somebody who's just satisfied at sitting at home and watching TV and kind of, there's something about this person, there's something about their whole kind of energy field, and they just stand out. They just stand out in a crowd, particularly for you. And like I was saying, this, you know, this Gemini could be you, or it's like both. I feel as though, you know, this person is saying, this is my heart. This here is my heart, you know, and it's very precious and it's very dear to me. And you, Gemini, are feeling the same as well. You are also feeling the same. You feel that, you know, your heart is very precious. You've kind of come to realise that through the experience of trying to find the right person, shall we say, previously to now, and not having been very successful. And so you're both, I feel, in that same kind of energy of kind of wanting to protect your heart, but at the same time kind of wanting to give it to somebody else, but wanting that other person to protect it as much as you want to protect it. Can you trust them to protect it? I think that's another issue here as well, Gemini. Can you trust them if you give them your heart? But you do want to, I feel. There is a lot, like I was saying, there's a lot of passion here. But it's not just, I don't feel just sexual passion. It's kind of like a real kind of connection of like mental and physical and spiritual. And it's like this person fires you up. That's what I'm kind of getting on all levels. They kind of really fire you up, Gemini. You really feel as though you connect with this person. And they kind of, you know, when you're in their energy, you're kind of, it just kind of escapes. You can't contain it. It just wants to kind of just be, you know, like a, literally like a fire that just kind of feeds itself. This person feeds you in that way. And the energy that you have moving in, but will be slowly, very slowly moving in, because it's the messenger of earth, which relates to the messenger of nights, and the messenger of nights, or messenger of earth, pentacles, is very slow moving. And today her dress has really kind of drawn my attention, particularly with this over this heart chakra. It kind of feels to me as though there is something that's saying, you know, my heart is open. My heart is open and I'm waiting. And there is this, I feel like, you know, as I was saying, this connection, which I feel is just going to grow. And that this literally could represent this little fairy person here. But they have strong connections to I mean, it's earth energy. It doesn't mean that this person has to be an earth sign. If they are an earth sign, they're going to be Taurus, Capricorn or Virgo. I feel more Taurus or Capricorn than Virgo. But they will also have this connection to kind of different realms, shall we say, like insight, like just kind of knowing things. They just know things. They've got really strong the way that they pick up on people, the way that they can kind of read somebody is very strong in this person. They have that ability, and they can see right through you as well, which may also be a little bit daunting for you, Gemini. It's like this person just looks at you and just knows you, just sees everything, which could also have something to do with kind of this feeling of nakedness here as well, as I was talking about earlier, of no secrets. Nothing is kind of covered here. Everything is kind of well out in the open. You can't kind of hide your feelings or your thoughts from this person. They just completely understand who you are. So Gemini, I'm just quickly going to pull some more cards and see where this reading is going to take you. At the moment, it seems to be saying that this attraction is so strong that you're not going to be able to ignore it. So, I've been given a lot of cards here. A lot of cards, which is the Fool here, which I feel this is more a background story than a story that is happening now somehow. Because this is to do with this energy here, the kind of sense of which direction are you going to go in and how are you going to do that, and are you going to take that that offer, whatever this is that's kind of being offered to you here. This Ace of Cups is kind of the offering here. This new, we have the Fool, which is about kind of trust and leaping into something new. And we have the King of Water, which is all about the emotions, and in reverse it's about not necessarily relating to your emotions or understanding your emotions, Gemini. Kind of hiding your emotions, not revealing your emotions. But again, I feel as though this is more of a background story. And we have the Queen of Cups here as well, in reverse. So this is about somebody who has been very controlling and very kind of dominant in your life. And we also have the Three of Wands again here. Same card twice. And this card has been about taking risks that haven't worked out for you because it's in reverse. So that whatever the risks were, you didn't take them, which kind of brought you to this place of feeling as though you were stuck and that things weren't changing in your life, and that you kind of didn't have any way forward. A sense of kind of that your creativity, your driving, passionate energy kind of was in a way used against you. And we have the Five of Cups here that's come out as well. This card came out but it fell on the ground, it fell on the floor. So it didn't come out along with these, but I've kind of included it because it, to me, it feels as though this is what happened. There was this situation where you kind of left this behind, you ran out on it, and this, I feel, the background is the kind of backstory of why you're feeling like this at the moment, why you're feeling, can I trust this? Is this something that I can? Is this the right person? As you feel as though, you know, you've kind of experienced some upset in the past, which ended in disappointment, which ended in you feeling as though you were let down, betrayed. So I feel with the Ace of Water up there in your head in reverse, you're still kind of in that energy and you're still kind of dwelling on that same place as well. So you're not kind of making, as I was saying, with the Three of Fire here, you're, you know, in reverse, you kind of, you're feeling again that you're not making any decisions here, or not so much decisions as so much kind of like changing your path. It's almost like it's happening, but you're not sure. I say you're not sure if it's the right thing, but as I think that, the Lovers comes jumping out as well. So this is kind of saying to me that this has brought this whole scenario up again in your life of this person. Who do you want to share your life with? Because the Lovers card in this deck talks very much about the choices that we make when it comes to having the person we spend our time with and give our energy to. What is it that it reflects on ourselves as well? Why do we choose that person? What is it about that person that we are drawn to choose them? What is it within us that attracts that energy? So that's where you're kind of at this moment, Gemini. I feel kind of asking yourself, again, you know, is this the right person? What is it within them that I'm looking to have fulfill you in some way? You know, we all, when we choose somebody, it's because we may feel as though there's something lacking in our life, and that person is going to kind of fill that gap, or you know, express that part of yourself that you see within them, but you may not be able to express it yourself. And that's not necessarily a good way to choose a relationship either, Gemini. It's kind of saying, you know, that you need to find that within yourself too, and bring it forward within yourself to be able to feel content and happy in a relationship. Not expect the other person to kind of live it out for you, which just leads to disappointment within yourself, and often a sense of resentment as well, because you see that person living the way that you actually would like to, but you can't actually allow yourself to do that because you feel as though, you know, that's not who I am, that's not me, that's that person, but that's not who I am. But you were drawn and attracted to that person because of that energy, whatever that energy is. There is something about that person that draws you in, has attracted you to it. So let's see what else we have here. I'm just trying to move these cards out the way. There's a lot of cards there already in the middle. So the Two of Water, the initial coming together, the initial attraction, the initial spark of seeing somebody and thinking, like I was saying, you know, I'd like to get to know that person better. I see something within that person. There's a quality, there's something very attractive, very alluring, very magnetic. I would like to find out more about this person. I would like to know whether or not I can spend time with this person. I am not taking all those cards. Not taking all those cards. That's far too many. So, can I just have 1, 2, or even 3 cards, please? But I'm not taking all of those. So, Two of Water. Why is the Two of Water here? Remember, this is the energy that's moving away. And it's covered by this card of kind of, in many ways, the Five of Swords is a feeling of destiny, a feeling of both things are kind of out of your hands, as though you have to do what you're being kind of led to do or told to do. And this could also have something to do with this higher, again, this higher calling, this kind of higher energy that I was picking up earlier. Because this is also Apollo, who is also a god. So there's this sense of, like, you know, you can't go against what's kind of meant for you, or but that doesn't mean that it's not going to kind of cause you problems. And I feel at the moment that you're kind of caught in this of seeing the negative side of this rather than the positive side, of seeing all the things that could go wrong here rather than seeing what could go right, Gemini. Being a sign of the twins and being dual, you kind of always tend to be able to do that, see both sides of something. And so I feel as though that's what you're doing. You're kind of focusing on the adverse. You know, if I do step up, if I do this, where's it going to take me? Where's it going to take me? Where am I going to get led to? Where am I going to end up kind of being abandoned again, betrayed, left out, feeling kind of shipwrecked in a way? Left in the air, kind of just left out hung in the air. That is the energy that's moving away. It's been around for a while. You have been, I feel as though you've been kind of deeply, logically kind of questioning this as well, which may also be why this card is upside down too. Because instead of kind of feeling with your emotions, you've been, which is very Gemini energy, the kind of logic, swords always relates to the logic and the mind and the thinking. So you kind of, in a way, you've been kind of trying to more think than feel this relationship, or the potential of this relationship, because the aces are all about potential. You've got two. You've got the ace of water and the ace of fire. And so, as I say that, we have the three of swords come out of the deck as well for this particular card, for this potential, for this. This is the subconscious realm. This is kind of what's driving it, is this passion, this desire, this fire, the fact that this person kind of really gives you a sense of in a way, there's also this kind of fear of it being too much, like you won't be able to contain it. It will kind of override everything else. And once again, I just feel that, you know, your fear is that it's going to lead to this again. This sense of somebody kind of backstabbing you, this sense of somebody not being honest with you, or literally kind of stabbing you in the heart here, which is also why I feel that there's this kind of little fairy clutching this heart here as well. It's like, you know that your heart has been hurt deeply in the past. Very deeply wounded, very deeply hurt, that you gave this person, this other person, as much as you could. The Judgment card, of course, can also talk about somebody from the past returning, because it can be to do with kind of a rebirth, a rejuvenation of something, calling up the dead from the past, your past history, somebody, like I say, returning into your life. And especially when you've got Venus in Gemini going backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. So for some of you Geminis, this may still be the same person that you're reflecting on and thinking about and kind of debating what to do about it, and knowing that you still have really strong feelings for this person, but also, you know, wondering, is it the right thing to do? Maybe also you've seen them again recently, and that has kind of brought some feelings that you may have long thought were gone as well. With that ace of water in reverse there, you might have well thought that that was over and done with, Gemini, and then it turns out, in fact, that your feelings are still incredibly strong. Okay, right, well, the Ace of Pentacles is the one that came out actually first of all in the right way. So again, it's another ace, more potential. There is potential for growth here. There is potential for this to really kind of feed and nourish and be something that it can be long lasting if you want to put that energy into it. That's what this is saying. And these two cards kind of jumped out with it as well. The High Priestess and the Page of Pentacles. And the High Priestess is kind of, for me, talking about the return of innocence in a way, of going back to the time when things were kind of not tainted, and not judging what's going to come into your life by what has already happened in your life. So for some of you Geminis out there, this could be the returning of somebody else, like I was saying. Sorry, it could be the return of the same person, like I was saying. And for others of you Geminis, this will be somebody new who is coming into your life, but it's stirring up the emotions from the past, because you don't want to kind of make those same mistakes maybe. You're worried that your heart is going to end up like this again. Because this is the subconscious realm. This isn't an actual definite. This is kind of more to do with you knowing that that potential is there as well. And it's coming from there because of what's happened in the past, which is maybe also what the Judgment is saying here, is that you need to release this. These are like ghosts from your past, and you need to kind of call them up and let them go and release it in order to move beyond it and forward, even if that is with the same person who's coming back. That in order for something to be new and fresh, and because she's very kind of, High Priestess is quite kind of innocent, there's a pureness about her. And the Page of Pentacles here is, for me, this energy here with the coin here that he's also holding very close to his heart here. And so I think the message is that you need to go deeper into your feelings and your emotions, Gemini, than you normally would. It's not just about thinking and kind of just relating to things on the logical level. You've got to kind of go deeper within your own intuition and your own trusting of yourself in order to be able to allow this to grow into something which has a lot of potential. It does have a lot of potential. And that is for past relationship coming back, and any relationship that may be new and moving into a different place. So that's the Page of Pentacles energy as well, the kind of planting of these seeds. Each of these represents the potential of something new, the future yet to kind of come into being, but it is there. But you do have to tend it, you do have to nurture it, you do have to take care of it. It's not something that's just going to just happen. It's kind of like you have to see the relationship as a separate part, like the two of you come together and then there's the relationship as well. So in taking care of each other, you kind of nurture that part of the relationship too. So let's see what the Moon Oracle Wisdom cards are saying here as well. What is the wisdom that the Moon Oracle cards, Gemini, are offering for you today? funny because before I started this reading, I recorded it like about 2 minutes into it, or not even that. Like I would start it and it would just, I wasn't happy with it basically, so I stopped it, and I must have done that about 5 times before I finally managed to kind of just continue. But the whole reading to start with felt kind of a little bit, I didn't know where it was going, and I didn't really know if it was the right reading for you, Gemini. And I get a sense of that coming through with this reading as well, that's kind of what was going on, was I was picking up on that energy itself of I don't know if this is the right thing. And I was getting quite frustrated with myself as well, because I couldn't kind of get the words beyond a certain point. It was like it would just stop and I just go, ugh, and just kind of stop the reading. And that's interesting because this card also popped out earlier as well, which is the Aries full moon, and it says a fiery climax approaches. So full moon in Aries, Aries being the first sign of the zodiac. It's new energy, it's beginnings, it's kind of lighting things up to do with our world. It's like the me energy, the my energy, the my world, my life, my body. And so I feel as though somehow it relates to this energy here as well, this kind of like something is going to happen. Something is going to happen here that is kind of going to make you, there's going to be something that's going to kind of just bring that decision, shall we say, something like, you know, an event, an event that's going to, I feel, kind of be quite sudden. Like it's going to be sudden, something kind of out of the blue in a way, something that's kind of, all of a sudden you're just going to kind of go, right, that's it. That's it, I'm going to do something about this. You're going to kind of make a move, make a decision, action, forward. Yeah, action. It's going to be action. There's going to be yeah, I just feel there's going to be something quite sudden. And there's Sagittarius new moon here, which is saying luck is on your side. So when you do decide to take that action, luck will be there with you. You do have this card here as well, which has come out. And it's the void of course moon, which says nothing will come of this situation. So Gemini, what this could be saying as well is that nothing will come of this situation if you don't do anything, if you don't take action, if you don't, luck will only be on your side if you do something about it. Because these two came out together. So luck being on your side and nothing will come of this situation is kind of saying to me that, you know, you have to kind of, in order for anything to change, in order for the situation to become what you're hoping or wanting it to become, you will have to do something about it. By sitting around and just kind of staying in that same energy, nothing's going to change. It will just kind of, like with the aces, it's that energy that you have to kind of put it into something or it just disappears. It doesn't kind of become anything. So that's kind of what I'm feeling there. And this is the Namaste blessing card that came out, which is the blessing of meditation. And it's saying your window of perception is cleansed, and for a moment you see life as it truly is, infinite and eternal. Meditation will help you rise above any situation and event and see things clearly. What usually seems chaotic and disorderly can seem the opposite. Know there is divine order in your life, which I feel is this energy here as well, is divine calling here. Something higher, an energy. Almost like if you see here, his trumpet here, this is literally, I can kind of see that there above his head, like the crown chakra energy here that's kind of going up into the higher energies. And also the flame here, kind of representing the heart again as well. The heart chakra energy, which is kind of being highlighted, I feel. Let me just show you this card here as well so you can see the words on there. So, lastly, I have this crystal Deva card of Azurite, which is the inner guidance card as well, which kind of links in with this idea of meditating here as well. This meditation that is kind of being asked that you do some meditation, kind of go beyond your logical thinking, if you like, go beyond your own kind of logic and open yourself up to this higher energy, this higher mind, this higher understanding and higher knowing. So let's see what the Azurite card has to say. It's the third eye, so it's the third eye chakra, and it's indigo blue rather than just being blue. It's kind of indigo blue, dark blue, kind of sky blue. And it says, what you see with your physical eyes appears to be real. Often this reality is only an illusion. Discerning the difference depends largely on, and then it's got in with a hyphen, and sight. So it's talking about sight from within, which is kind of this card here as well, this insight, this inner knowing, trusting your inner wisdom, your inner guidance. Insight is a precursor to wisdom. Your intuition is one of the most valuable tools at your disposal for discovering the truth. Deep within the cavity of your brain is a cave of inner wisdom. Its position behind the eyes symbolically represents that which is seen with the inner eye. This is the location of the third eye chakra. Our offering to you is connection to insight, the ability to see clearly and accurately. And I think that this energy here with this person, whoever this is, they have this ability. They can already tune in to this energy. And I think that's something, Gemini, that you find kind of in one way you're greatly attracted to it, and in another way you're kind of, I won't say scared of it, but you're kind of hesitant about it. Insight is sight focused inwardly, trusting and relying on your inner guidance. Azurite operates like a tuning fork that equilibrates and balances the third eye, the place of clairvoyance or clear seeing. But beyond the third eye, we connect with high chakras outside the body that assist humans with a link with divine consciousness. This is what I was saying earlier about how this card for me today is coming through more as this Uranus higher connecting energy, the higher mind, the higher consciousness, which does relate to the third eye. Uranus relates to the third eye, and it also relates to Kundalini energy as well. This link facilitates the ability of clear knowing, also known as clairsentience. Clairsentience is a confirmation of the truth surrounding any issue. For example, you may wonder whether or not you should proceed in a certain direction. That would be this card here in reverse. Or trust a particular person. With this inner truth at your disposal, you are always equipped to move forward with guidance to take whatever action is needed. Are you trusting your intuition? Are you taking the time to tune in? To intuit means to go into it. The it is yourself. It may take some practice to quiet your mind and locate that quiet, deep place inside, but once you do, answers will come effortlessly and quickly. Trust your gut level feeling. That's interesting because I kind of noticed that with this here earlier. I didn't say anything about it, but this band around her gut here, I kind of feel as though there's something about this which I didn't actually mention earlier, but it kind of stuck out to me, but I wasn't sure what it was about, so I didn't kind of mention it. But trust your gut level feeling. Where are we? Sorry. That feeling in the solar plexus is tied directly to your third eye, the place of clear seeing. So maybe that's what this is about. This is tied to the third eye chakra as well. Maybe this is something where how you two connect on some level, on a kind of more energetic level, that you kind of complete each other on that level as well. I don't know, there's something about that energetic level here of the solar plexus, which is this energy here, and the third eye, which is this energy here. Gemini. When you feel something in your gut, you are getting a physical response to and a confirmation of your inner knowing, your intuition. If you've drawn this card today, you are making a request to explore the true source of your knowing, your intuition. You may be seeking assistance in making some important decision. Take a look at who is guiding you. Is it your inner self or outer influences? Rely on your insight. It could also be what this is about as well. Other people telling you what you should and shouldn't do. And also kind of like, you know, saying, remember what happened last time, etc. Particularly if this has got something to do with somebody coming back as well. You may be finding lots of people wanting to give you advice. Rely on your insight to help resolve any confusion you feel. Focus your eyes on the dark blue of our card or our stone body. If you look directly, so if you look intently, the blue may begin to swirl like a vortex, pulling you deep within yourself. Our colour and the colour energy of your third eye chakra are the same. This is an example of the outer world reflecting the inner, not just in colour, but with the same energy and purpose, which also brings us back to this card here as well, because this is the inner world and the outer world in which we have to live. But the inner realm is our kind of subconscious dream world, our dream consciousness, where we also find answers as well. Not just in colour, but with the same energy and purpose, as above, so below, as within, so without. We extend an invitation to you to travel the narrow passages back to the cave where revelation and understanding are one. That has a kind of cave-like energy to it as well. This is literally Persephone, who was taken down into the underworld by Hades, who was stolen. So it is all about going into the inner realm, the underworld of our feelings. And maybe, Gemini, you haven't actually done that yet. Maybe you've only kind of skimmed the surface and you haven't really wanted to go down and really feel whatever it is that you're supposed to feel here. Here is a place where you may escape the outer world and find a quiet refuge within. This is the place of answers, of inner knowing. The pineal gland in the brain, located near the third eye, is connected to our work. Little is known about this gland. It is a sacred spot in the body, opening the door to the hall of Akashic records. The Akashic records is a repository, an ancient chronicle that holds the history of all humankind, of all being kind as well. Every event in each entity's life is recorded. The knowledge of all time is there. It is a library of experience. We can help you open the door to the Akashic records so that you may gain insight into your history. From this information, what you learn about past events will shed light on your present and your possible futures. Which is also this card here as well, your potential possible futures. There is a condition under which someone may approach the hall of the Akashic records. One must enter with a pure heart, vowing to use the information gathered there for the betterment of the whole. If this tenet is disregarded, you will forget the information you have gained, and it will be lost to you. Always on ready reserve for you is a depth of wisdom that will guide your steps truly and steer you to the right course. This is not a time in your life to ask for the opinions of others. This is a time to go within and gather your own sacred tools of wisdom. Using inner sight, you can see clearly from a soul perspective, and decisions can be reached easily. Along with needed answers and information comes a sense of peace regarding any action you need to take. So Gemini, I'm going to finish it there. There's only a little bit left, but it kind of seems to be saying to me that this is a big decision here that you're making. This is something that you kind of, it's kind of going to change the path of your life here. So you need to maybe do some meditating, go to a deeper place within yourself, and also kind of open your own energy up to the higher wisdom, because I think that's also what this Judgment card here is talking about, the kind of, as I was saying earlier, the higher energy. And in that particular card it talks about it as being the Akashic records. So I think that's the message here for you, Gemini, is kind of, this is a big decision in your life. It's going to change the course of your life. So take your time and do it with thought and care. And so on that note, shall we say, I'm going to finish your reading, Gemini, and say thank you very much if you have listened to all of my tarot. Thank you very much if you've returned to listen to my readings. I really do appreciate it. Please could you thumbs it up, please could you subscribe to my channel, because that way I can also grow my channel and I can get my messages out there to more people as well, as I really would like to kind of put my messages out there. At this time, the world is in kind of need of some kind of help, and just general kind of channeled information or inspiration, I think, can really help. I know it's helped me in the past when I've had readings from other people as well. So if you feel that this could be a benefit to anybody else, please also share it, and hopefully I will see you again next time, Gemini, and take care till then.